Created live on Fireside.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, friends.
Happy Monday.
It's a good day. It's Chris and Amanda Day.
It's Chris and Amanda Day. We are so excited. We're back again. This is great. It's another Monday, another Chris and Amanda show. We are psyched.
Episode 7.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
Can't believe we're at episode 7 already.
And it's gonna be a good one, I think.
I know. We got a lot of good tunes this week. A lot of good tunes. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I'll be the first to admit I did not know any of your songs.
Really?
None. So,
Wow.
Yes.
I actually knew all the songs.
You
well,
did.
I was a little so your second song, I was a little I was like, wait, I wasn't sure, and then I heard it and I was like, oh, okay, I know the song now. And so
So good.
but it was good. It was like really fun listening to those songs. And I have some stories behind them and all that. And of course I always did my little research as I always enjoy doing, and I learned so many new things about these songs that I didn't know before. So I'm excited to start sharing that with everybody today.
I'm excited to learn what you learned.
I know, and I'm excited to hear what you think of my songs. I put a lot of thought into these songs this week. I mean, I always put a lot of thought into it, but
For sure.
I really try hard to pick songs that I'm like, I think she may like this. I think, or she, either way, I was like, I think she's gonna dig it. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's do a little audio check real quick.
Let's do that.
How does Chris's audio sound to those in the audience? If you could do a little clap, that would be amazing, so we know that he can be heard. Just a little clap. Anyone? There we go. Okay.
Anybody? Hey,
Thank
there you go. Thank you.
How is my sound? Awesome. That is so helpful, you guys. Thank you. No sense in doing a show that no one can hear.
No sense at all. Well, this is great. I mean, welcome everybody who's listening right now and participating. Welcome to the Chris and Amanda show. It's Monday, our favorite day of the week. I know it's weird for people to say Monday is a favorite day, but Monday is truly our favorite day of the week. 100%.
Absolutely. 100%. In fact, it's so much so our favorite day of the week. I sent Chris a message today. Happy Chris and Amanda Day.
I know. I love that now. I'm like, now I got to change all my on my calendar. I have it like Chris and Amanda show, but now I'm just going to switch it to be the whole day is a Chris and Amanda day. Now I love the ring of that. It's a Chris and Amanda day. It's awesome.
Chris and Amanda day. Well, and it's turning into a Chris and Amanda day because we keep adding things after the show ends to our play. We hop on Facebook or on Instagram for a quick live that's never quick.
Yeah.
And we'll be recording some bonus content for Patreon, which is super fun. So it's turned into more of a day than just this hour-long show, which we love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just so much fun for us to do, and I mean, I really do love it. So, and we're so happy that people are checking in live and listening with us and participating. And as Amanda and I always do, we always try to leave room at the end of the show for people to come up and hang out with us and share whether they're stories or rebuttals to any of our opinions of the songs we're going to discuss. It's very open, so we always leave some room for that as well. So, Amanda, do you want to explain what our show is about for anybody new listening to us today?
Absolutely. I was diving into I was getting ready to say our song choices, but settle down, Amanda. Settle down. That's not what you're being prompted to do. Well, anyone who's new to our show, the show idea is very simple. Chris and I come from very different music lives. He's a lot of rock and roll, hardcore, punk rock. I am more like a laid back, country, easy listening fan. If you can imagine my whole life as a Sunday playlist, that's kind of where I land. So you put us together and the taste is very interesting and it leads to some exciting conversations. So Chris picks 3 songs, I pick 3 songs, and we critique them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun. So here we are in episode 7, plenty of songs left to go. I mean, we're never going to run out of content for this show. So we hope you're here as long as we're willing to be.
Yep. Yeah, we absolutely love the people who join us on our little journey every Monday in our little 1 hour block that we really have so much fun doing. So our rating system is pretty complicated. So I'll try to talk very slowly so everybody can fully grasp our rating system. So we rate these songs that we pick for each other on a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 5 being, holy smokes, this record will never leave my life, and it is a permanent fixture in my head and everywhere I go. It's on every playlist I listen to. I can't get in my car without hearing the song. To 1 is, it will meet a fiery death into the heart of the sun and be burned and never listened to again. So those are our very complicated rating system, 1 to 5 records. I will say, it hasn't happened yet, but there have been no 1 record ratings to date. That has not happened yet.
No 1 reckies. No 1 reckies. But there have been some 5 reckies. So
there have been totally some 5 reckies. That has definitely happened, and maybe it'll happen again today. We'll have to see.
I don't know.
It could happen.
It could happen. So, Chris, do you want to go first today, or do you want me to go first?
Well, why don't we share? Let's share the song choices. Let's start with that. So these were our choices for this week, and they were also chosen, also voted on by our Patreon members as well. So,
absolutely.
If you are a Patreon member, you get to have a say in the song selections. So, Amanda,
narrow down these 3 that are in my hand on my colorful paper. So for those listening, I have colorful paper in my hand, but those in our Patreon account can see the colorful paper. So Chris's number 1 pick is Once Bitten, Twice Shy by Great White. His second pick was New Rose by, I'm going to cuss you guys, I'm sorry, The Damned. Forgive me for my language. And number 3, High by The Cure. We could use a cure nowadays.
Yeah, we can.
So those were Chris's choices for me to critique.
Yes, and so the choices Amanda bestowed upon me for this week were Belinda Carlise, Heaven is a Place on Earth, Dan Fogelberg, the band played on, and Jim Croce, Operator.
Can you help me play this song?
So those were my 3 picks, gifted from Amanda. They were gifted.
I'll say these choices were a gift this week to you, Chris.
Well, they were, and we will get into it. We will certainly get into it. So, do you want to go first, or
you know what?
You want me to go first?
I'll start going first.
All right, you go first.
I feel like I really dig the name of the first band, which is Great White. I had never heard of them before, ever.
I had a feeling you wouldn't have.
I can dig that. And you know why I really like this? Because we went on a vacation last July, and it was in North Carolina, Topsail Island or Topsail Beach, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And would you believe I have collected a gazillion, I'm exaggerating with that number, shark teeth.
Really?
And yes. And they were not like what you would think. They're black. They're not white. So here I was looking for white teeth. No, they're just black. I didn't know.
Wow.
So once I found out how to find a shark tooth, I was like, I could spot it a mile away. So the minute I was like, Great White, took me back to my vacation and how a little gifted I was at the shark teeth hunting.
I think I want to commission a shark tooth necklace made.
You know what? I'll show you I made a TikTok about my shark teeth.
Oh, I missed that one.
And a heart.
Yeah. These razor sharp shark teeth made into a heart.
To the Jaws song. Like, da-da-da-da. And it was a heart. Would you expect any less from me, Chris?
No, I absolutely I don't expect anything less from you. That's truly amazing. Now I instantly need to watch that tick. That needs to be in my life right away.
I love it. I love it. So we've got, I felt like as soon as it started playing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it was very Bob Seger-ish. Can you feel that?
I never thought about it like that, but I can definitely see where you're drawing the comparison. Now that you say that, I can see the parallels there.
And I just was a little taken aback because Once Bitten, Twice Shy by Great White, I expected a little bit more about like boom to it, right? And it's not what really kind of hit me. It was actually kind of a soft listening, harder rock type of song.
Yeah, well, it's more of like a it's not like Great White was definitely more of like, I wouldn't call them, once again, I'm not going to put them in the glam metal category, but they get lumped in with that because they were definitely in that time. And I saw them open up for those bands. They were definitely in the mix, but they were more hard rock than they were like glam metal. Like there's a big difference. And so this was actually a cover song. The original artist was Ian Hunter from England. Ian Hunter was English. I think he was from England.
Well, that is really interesting because one of my next notes was sounds like another song. So I'm wondering if that's why, because the my chorus, is that actually the words? Is
yeah,
it
my. Once bitten, twice shy.
But I felt like, so either this is what's happened. I've either sang the words completely wrong to this song and I've heard it before and I just never lumped it together.
Right.
Or there's another chorus that sounds very, very, very similar to that I'm trying to like hone in on and I can't get to it. So maybe it's because it's the other version. Maybe? I don't know.
I mean, they're pretty similar. I mean, it's the Great White version is a little more like rockin'. I mean, they're both like rockin' songs. Just Great White just added like their Great White spin to it. But the piano part and that's all like that's the same.
And I swear if you listen to another song. If anyone's listening in the audience who knows what I'm talking about, the my, like it's in another song and I can't think of it.
Well, so I think it's like a popular kind of like sing along type thing,
Fair. Maybe I'm overthinking it or underthinking it. I don't know. But that was my note there. So that's funny that you had mentioned that. And then I really liked it. I have to say I really, really, really liked it.
It's a really fun song. This was actually, and Great White actually had like some hits, but this was like by far their biggest hit. I mean, this was on MTV constantly back in the day when this was out. I mean, and the video is fun. It's just the band jamming out, and it's a really, really just great rocking song. This is 100% on tons of playlists I have, especially my summer playlist. This is definitely a hanging out song, and
the name is very fitting for a summer playlist.
It happens to be one of my very few, and I mean very few, go-to karaoke songs.
I just learned something about Chris. $100 in our Patreon. You can hear this by Chris. I'm making a note, karaoke song. I don't want to forget this ever, because one day we'll meet in person and it more than likely will be at a karaoke place.
Well, I hope so.
Nailing these.
I hope so. Well, and this is because you and I have picked so many songs and I've been like, this is definitely an Amanda karaoke song. This is definitely a go. And you've revealed that almost on every show. This is a go-to song. This is a song you sing. So I'm like, I got to give Amanda a song that I would sing. This is one of my very, very few karaoke songs.
Episode 7. It took this long to get here, but we've got a karaoke song for Chris.
Yes.
I love it.
So there you go.
So with that being said, shoot, man, just add that bonus on to there. It makes me want to go to a 5, but I can't because it's not quite up there. But it's a solid 4. Solid 4.
I find that extremely respectful. And I feel like in your head, here's how I'm seeing this. I feel like it's like a 4.9 in your head. So it's like it's almost at the line, but just missing that spark, which
Agree.
Maybe it's me singing it on karaoke that'll make it a 5.
Yes. So
I'll make it a
this is going to
$5.
go in the to reassess at a further episode to see, because we're going to recap these songs at one point.
We're absolutely going to recap these.
And we'll see. I think this one could go up. So
I think so too.
I can't wait to hear. Ooh.
Yep, Pedro, check it in.
Definitely down for some karaoke. Yes. Yes.
Oh, you know what? Tanner actually makes a great point. Tanner checking in. Is she saying it reminds her of Rebel Yell? Mo, mo, mo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
In a rebel. Yes. Oh, Tanner.
Tanner with the win. Yes.
Tanner with the win. Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good call, Tanner.
Oh, this is so good. I'm going to be able to sleep at night because of Tanner today. How do you Google that question?
I don't know. I don't know, actually. It's like how you were singing, like, Rock Me Like a Heart Attack. And I'm like...
How does one Google such a word that doesn't It's so true. It's so true. So I can't wait. So my first song to you, what are you thinking?
Yes. So Belinda Carlise, Heaven is a Place on Earth.
Yes, it
and
is.
I love that you picked this for me right after we talked about the Go-Go's on the last show, on last week's Memorial Day show as part of our summer songs. And so I love me some Belinda Carlise. I first of all, once again, if you listened last week, I am a huge Go-Go's fan. I love the Go-Go's. My favorite Go-Go is Jane Wheeldon. That's my girl. I love Jane. She's so great.
Go-Go. I like it.
Yeah, she's my favorite Go-Go. And but Belinda Carlise, this was like, I remember when this came out, because this was 1987 when this came out, and I remember this was being a big deal that, like, you know, Belinda, because this was off the second solo record, because I really dug her first single from her first solo record. I think is Mad About You or something about that. I think it was something. I think that's it. And I really like that. And then this song came out, and it was like on her next record, and I was like, whoa, this is like, you hear it right away, you're like, this is a hit. This is totally a hit song. And I just love her voice. I think she's great. I always have. And I still find it all fascinating how she was so, like, when you watch that Go-Go's documentary on Showtime, and having, like, I've collected a lot of different Go-Go's things and things from when they were doing demos, and they're like so punk rock, so LA, like punk, all girl punk band style. And so to hear that and then go from like this, like really like polished, like pop, songs like Heaven is a Place on Earth was like, it's like a fun transition to like listen to. So I did some digging because, once again, I listen to these songs all the time, and like, now that we do the show, I'm like, I want to learn more. I want to see like what else is out there. So, of course, I go to songfacts.com as one does now, as one does when they're trying to figure out songs. Yeah. And I wanted to see, like, because Belinda Carlise is not a songwriter. She's a great singer, but in the Go-Go's, it was definitely Charlotte and Jane wrote the songs, and Charlotte is the majority, like, songwriter. And Charlotte did write a lot of songs for her in her solo albums. But this song in particular was written by Rick Knowles, who wrote and produced the Stevie Nicks song "I Can't Wait," which I was like, oh wow, that's a great song. Mm-hmm. And then also Ellen Shipley also co-wrote the song. So in songfacts.com digging, the story goes is that the initial idea came to Ellen Shipley at a Brooklyn gas station, where she spotted a greeting card that said "Heaven on Earth." And when she and Noel started working on the song for Belinda Carlise, Ellen Shipley wrote the phrase on the blackboard as an idea, and Knowles wrote the words "is a" to make it "Heaven is a Place on Earth." And I once again, it just goes to show. I know, it shows where inspiration can come from, right? Like anywhere. And it's like a greeting card at a gas station, like write a hit song, because this song went to number one in the US and the UK in 1987.
As it should have.
A number one song. Not easy task to do is to write a number one song. So I thought that was really cool. Here's some other cool facts. Once again, did not know this about this song, that the backing vocals on the chorus were sung by Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas.
I don't know
and Diane Warren, who was also big with Whitney Houston and Cher and Celine Dion. And I once again did not know that Michelle Phillips was involved in the song at all, which I made it even cooler for me knowing that. And a third cool fact, did not know.
They keep coming.
I was like, wow, there's so much behind this song. I had no idea. third fact is that Diane Keaton, Diane Keaton, the actress from like, Annie Hall and The Godfather, she directed the music video for Heaven is a Place on Earth. And she also directed I Get Weak video too. Belinda Carlise's song for I Get Weak. She did that video too. Crazy.
Tanner is asking to speak. Should we let him up to just hop in?
Of course.
Tanner,
of course.
Come on.
Tanner. Popping up.
Look at this. Tanner, hello.
Okay,
hello.
guys.
Oh, there he is. We got him.
So that when you were talking about more, I was like, oh, it's that song, but it actually wasn't the song I was thinking of in my head. It was just the first one I can remember the name of. So here's the one that I was thinking that you might be thinking of, Amanda. Can I do this? Can I play this real quick?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, Tanner, bring it.
It was more likely that you were thinking of that than
that's great call, Tanner. Yes, I wasn't even thinking of that. So yeah, that makes even more sense.
I will now retreat to the audience. Thanks.
You're awesome, Tanner.
That was awesome.
It takes a village to get into Amanda's head.
Really does.
Look at the support group you have, Chris.
It's the support group, the group of Amanda whisperers.
Everyone needs a group like this in their lives.
Yeah, seriously. Love it.
Oh, I love it so much. Oh, see, now I can sleep at night.
So, getting back to this. So this is, so I will be honest, this is a song that when I first heard it back in the day, I was a little like, I wanted to hear more Go-Go's. And so I was kind of like disappointed with this back then. Cause I was like, it's just cheesy pop to me. Like this is 87. Like I'm not, I want to hear Go-Go's, man. I don't want to hear Belinda Carlise singing Heaven and Place on Earth. But as I've gotten older, this song has definitely like found a place in my repertoire of music. So with that, so if this was 1987 me, I would probably have given us 2 records because I was just so like, just get the Go-Go's back together. What are you wasting time with this nonsense for? But now, as I've gotten older and a little more wiser, and I'm not as much of a snob as I used to be, I will respectfully give this a 4 record rating. This now, because it's just like now I could just appreciate things without being like such a music like.
I dig it, and I accept
snob.
that. And is it closer to? I know we don't do decimals, but is it closer to a 5 than a 4?
I would say it's a solid 4. I don't think I could give the song a 5. I don't know if it's something, but it is on playlists. I have it on the playlist. It is on the summer playlist because this is a song that we will like rock out to when we're hanging out. So it's definitely a hanging out song, but it's not a 5 for me. It doesn't make the 5 status. It is a solid 4.
Do you want to hear a memory attached to the song?
Of course I want to hear a memory because I know there's a memory attached to this. So yes.
This is stupid memory. So there used to be, when malls existed, you used to like walk around them and
malls still exist.
Just shop around. There was this store, and I don't remember the name. I think it might have been Deb's, but I'm not sure. They had hot pink carpeting, and they had like the wire racks that clothes hung on. And if you drug your feet and touch the racks, like you would get electrocuted.
Yeah, the static.
My sister used to always flip and electrocute me in that store while Heaven is a Place on Earth was playing. So, like, what a memory. You would think I wouldn't love the song so much, but I do.
You have fond memories of being electrocuted with static shock in the clothing store.
It was the hot pink carpet.
That is some memory. That is some memory.
Oh, I don't know how I think of and remember these things, but it's what happens. I can't.
You must remember it. And now they're documented for all time here on this show.
That's right. All right. So moving on to Chris's number 2, New Rose by The Damned. I like the name Rose because it's my mama's name. Listen, they're cheering for that. I gotta say, I didn't really love this song.
I didn't think you would.
I was gonna say, I don't think you're probably surprised. I
Nope.
did love how it started, though. Is she really going
See,
out with
okay.
him? I enjoyed that. You knew I was going to, didn't you?
Yes.
So I dug that, and then it immediately went into the song, and I'm like, oh, maybe I was just so hyped up by that statement that I only could be disappointed by the song.
Well, this is definitely one of the classic punk songs from The Damned. I mean, this is their 70s punk band that UK and, from England, and they, it was after the
They're
Sex
from
Pistols.
England?
Yeah. So after the Sex Pistols, they were very much like right in the mix as far as bigger punk bands. So you've got them, of course, Susie and the Banshees. You've got Generation X, which was Billy Idol's first band. That was his punk band. And of course, then a little bit the Clash, but the Damned, like this song, New Rose. I mean, this first Damned record, oh, so good.
So this is not shocking to me that I wrote this down then. It's always feelings, friends. We always have feelings when it comes to Amanda's ratings. But I was like, this sounds like a Beatles song gone wrong. And it makes sense that like there's that England connection maybe. So I thought I was completely like out of line writing that, but maybe I was right in line with that feeling.
This song is just so great. I have so much fun listening to the song. It's somebody I watched a documentary on The Damned. It's on I think Amazon or one of them, and I was watching it, and there was a quote by somebody, and they were talking about this song, and they said this is like the theme song to a heist. And I was like, that is such a great image to me, like something out of like a Guy Ritchie film. Like I could definitely see that happening with like.
That's fair. That's super fair. But again, I was just so let down because I was so pumped up with the words. Is she really going out with him? It kind of made me like think of the song like, oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. And like it went into this gold. I was like, here it comes. And it just was nothing.
It's all right. See, I'm trying to expose you to different things that once again, you would never have heard otherwise.
Agreed.
Because it's either going to be a hit or a miss with you. But I'm like, I try to go for these songs that I feel like Amanda may latch on to it and then suck her in, and then she'll be like, this song's great. And I like, and then it like makes an earworm, and then you start like digging it more than you did when you first started.
And part of Chris's strategy is I'm going to give her a 2-record song. She'll think this song is a 4-record song. Now,
Sometimes
I have to admit the playlist that we have on Spotify gets better and better. I am enjoying it more and more. But
it's
diverse. What's happening is now like there's a nostalgia to the playlist. I'm all about the feelings and the nostalgia. So even if I'm not a fan of the song, I'm still like, oh, this was episode 2. So I'm liking it.
Well, yeah, because I begin to remember now, like I listen and I go, oh, I know what Amanda said about this. And then I know the story behind the song, and that's all that. So
and I wonder if our listeners are feeling the same way. They'll be like, oh, Chris really liked this song because of this, and Chris said this. Like, think our legacy is going on with our music choices. Maybe not. Settle down, Amanda.
Well, in our heads, it makes for a nice story.
Absolutely, if nothing else.
Well, what I always hope is that by us talking about this music too, is that maybe somebody who hasn't heard anything, I haven't heard some of the songs you've played for you've selected for me in the past. So, I'm hopeful in that between our 2 songs that people go, oh, I've never heard that before, or I never heard the song from that band. And, so then maybe they're more apt to checking out something they haven't ever heard before. So
absolutely.
And this is why I picked The Damned for you this week. Cause I was like, there's no way you've ever heard this song, but there's a slight chance you might like it. I don't know. So I go for it. I take risks.
And, and the sound just kind of sounded a little off to me. So for that reason, I gave it a 2-record.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to say it's closer to a 3 than a 1.
Okay.
But it's a 2 for me. But, that's coming off of this one, which was a 4. So
right. So I got
averaging 3.
Right. So I got a 4.
Yeah, a 4 today. So you're killing it. You're
killing
it.
I will accept your 2. Just because of the sheer magnitude that you actually listened to the Damned song. So I'm glad you listened to it. All right. So moving right along. Wow, look, we got a lot of people still listening in, and this is great. Thank you.
Here.
This is great. Thanks everybody so much for joining in and and participating and hanging out with us today. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Chris and Amanda Show. If you're just joining us now for the first time, we really appreciate it. And we are excited. And now I get to talk about Amanda's number 2 song, To Me.
This one.
So, and I know the minute I put this on, I was like, I know Amanda has a story about this song. I know it. It's coming. But so I will say, here's what I found out, because this was a song that from the title, I didn't realize I had known this song. So I was like, oh, okay. So I grew up with a lot of this stuff, like the Dan Fogelberg and Jim Croce, which we'll get into. Like, this was stuff that like my parents listened to, and so I was 100% exposed to this music. And for some reason, like, Dan Fogelberg is a musician that I never really like fully latched onto, or like got deep into. And re-listening to this song after not having heard for so long actually got me to like listen to like Dan Fogelberg again. And exactly what you said, like, very underrated musician, I feel like, and not talked about enough. And myself included. So it took hearing this to sort of like dive into the catalog a little bit and start listening to, at least like the hits and the things that are up there. And then I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. Like, this is a good song. This is a good song. Like, so the band Played On by Dan Fogelberg, released in 1980 and went to number 8 in the US charts. I always love seeing where the charts are in these songs, because sometimes it's like sometimes like a cult movie, right? It comes out and like it's a complete flop and no one cares about it, but like it finds an audience and as it goes on. So it's always nice it's just interesting to see like how something was received when it was first released. So it went to number 8 though. So that's a top 10 hit.
To be honest, is higher than I would have expected it. Because it's really folk song-ish, especially for 1980.
I mean, the song was originally released in 1979 on his album Phoenix, but it didn't really. He was supposed to have released this for Phoenix, and this is according to Songfacts.com. But he thought it was too sentimental for the album and held back on it until his next record, The Innocent Age.
So good.
So, if you don't know anything about this song, which I didn't, as far as just knowing the song, but it was written as a tribute to his father, Lawrence Fogelberg, who was a band director, which that was really cool. And it's actually too, is his father did pass away a year after the song was released, which, is kind of sad as far as, the sentimental factor, but it's pretty much the song is what it is. I mean, you listen to it and it really is there's nothing left to imagination there. It is a tribute to his father.
I'm literally tearing it out just even thinking about you talking about the song.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool song. And the end of the song, which I also found out by listening, because I was always like, oh wow, it's kind of like this almost like band type thing. Never put it together. I would have never put it together if I hadn't read this. But concludes with a part of the performance by the UCLA band of the John Philip Salsa March, the Washington Post, which was arranged by his father. So that bit at the end was an arrangement that he's put on by his father. So, it's a great song. I mean, it really is. And like I said, hearing this again made me say, wow, Dan Fogelberg, I never think about him, and I never really just the songs, but made me go back in and start listening to a lot of his music again. So, it's a great song. I mean, this song's definitely liked, and it's going to be in rotation, and I'm probably going to have more Dan Fogelberg songs now in my rotation. So I will give this a solid 4 records.
Oh, love it.
Almost 5, but just because I was like, but it's really close, but it's a 4. It's a really beautiful song. It really is. I mean, I have zero negative. I got nothing to say about it. I mean, it's just, as far as like negative or being overly critical, it's just a really well written tune.
He is so underrated. And let me tell you, like, the end of that song really doesn't make sense. Like, why all of a sudden, like, this band like starts playing.
Well, exactly. Until I read that, and I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
It makes complete sense. And the first time I heard that song, I was like, what did I just listen to?
Right.
What did I just listen to? And then I heard it again, and I just couldn't help but like, I'm a crier. We all know I'm a crier. There's crying in the Chris and Amanda show.
There is crying in the Chris and Amanda show.
There is. But I literally could not, like, the emotions his songs bring out in me
Right.
are just so strong. And I don't know what it is about his music. It moves me so much. And I was just like, I want that kind of legacy. So play this at my funeral, friends.
You are leaving a legacy. Look at this. We're doing the show.
That's right. So, like, I can't say that there is a moment that this song goes with. It was just like the realization of a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just the emotion behind the song that I just stopped me in my tracks and caused
Right.
me like great, like, sadness, but not in a bad way,
Mm-hmm.
like a reflection way. And
Right.
all of his music does that to me. He's so talented. He's so underrated.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know they're definitely not the same type of artist at all, but he does have I love James Taylor, and there's something very, like, I don't know. I think it's just they're not similar. The styles are different, but it's just
fair comparison though. But
it gives me, I don't know, it gets just the way they sing and write their music that it just kind of like, I feel like that's a good crossover in a sense. I don't really know, but that's what I never really till really listening again. Like it started like, wow, this is, I love James Taylor. And I'm like, why wouldn't I like this just as much? And
absolutely.
And I just don't think, but now I'm like, this was a great, like, re-entry into reintroduction, I should say, of Dan Fogelberg for me.
Absolutely. Just for those curious, the Heaven is a Place on Earth came from my Debbie Gibson Pandora station, and this song came from my Karen Carpenter Pandora station. So those are the genres that I pulled from today.
Right. So when we talk about genres, in Amanda's world, genres means Pandora station. So sounds like
Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter sounds.
She'll show up on my list.
Right. Exactly.
So a solid 4. I was like, what did you rate it? But I forgot you said a
solid 4 record. Solid 4. Very close to 5, but just like it's like inches.
That's fair.
When you play football, it's like fourth and it's like inches.
Yes. And maybe as you've rediscovered him, you're going to, maybe when we do a recap show, if he's on there, maybe it'll have raised to a 5.
It might.
And I would encourage anyone listening in the audience, give him a second try if you haven't heard him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the songs are, I don't know, they're just really well written. I mean, they're really well written songs. I mean, I think that, if anybody hasn't heard Dan Fogelberg, I would say just start diving into the catalog, because I think you'll find plenty of music that you'll enjoy for sure.
For sure. Well, let's go on to our third song.
All right. Third song.
I'm
really excited to hear what you're going to say about this song.
Okay. So listen.
Here we go.
So first of all, it's High by The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Has a long beginning. And I have issues with beginnings, like too much music in the beginning before you get to like the words,
right,
to the meat of the song. But I dug this long beginning. It was a pleasant long beginning. So I did dig that. And I really feel like we needed Tanner still in the room, because this was very similar to the first song that I'm like, did someone else sing this song? Or is there another song like this? Because there's a song that I'm like, has to be in my head. That's this song, but it's not this song, because I almost knew the words without knowing the words, which does not make sense because I normally don't know words.
Right. We know that.
I mean, so none of the story is making sense at this point when I'm explaining it to you, Chris. But, and I tried to Google who sang High before, and there's a gazillion songs. So I couldn't even find what I might have even been looking for. So I'm positive there's another song that's super like that, or someone else sang this but I think you would know that.
The only thing I would say is that it's maybe another Cure song, because
maybe,
I feel like no one sounds like The Cure, like no one.
And have you watched the show or the / movie Donnie Darko before?
Yes.
Is there a song similar to this in Donnie Darko?
Oh man, it's been so long since I watched that. I'd have to go back and
Well,
I mean, I'd have to go back and listen to the soundtrack again. Let me just see real quick because I want to see if the
when
Cure
is this
are on.
band? Yeah.
Huh?
When was this band like made?
Well, the Cure have been around since the 70s. I mean, and they're still, I mean, right until like the 90s. And this song came out. I'm just looking to see the Donnie Darko soundtrack because now I'm like
the stuff Amanda comes up with.
Because now I'm like really interested. Like, oh, because it's been so long since.
And while you're doing that, if I'm being completely honest, I could not get past trying to figure out who else sang the song or what other song it was like, that I couldn't like properly like digest the song. So from that, like, I feel like it's a solid 3. It could be a 4, but I was so distracted.
Oh my God. So that means you gotta go back and re-listen to the song.
And I listened to it no less than 5 times, probably 6 to 8. And I just kept going, where am I thinking this song is from?
Trying to see. I mean, there's. Oh, I wonder. I wonder if you're thinking Echo and the Bunnymen.
Echo and
we're on this because the killing moon is on that, and Echo and the Bunnymen were definitely, but it's not. I mean, so the re-release version of this. So you've got Tears for Fears on this. Echo and the Bunnymen are on this soundtrack. The Church, NXS, Duran Duran, Oingo Boingo, Joy Division are on this. So I mean, you've got a lot of the bands that were actually very active. That when the Cure were like around.
I'm just feeling. So I'm going to have to do some more diving into it because I'm positive I'll find. Well, I'm positive. Hopefully, one of our viewers will find what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I listen.
Is one of a kind, the incredible kind, Scott.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Scott, I couldn't agree with that statement anymore because The Cure is a band that all those other bands I just named were like, it's like they are bands that like are all really good, but not nearly as good as The Cure. Although Echo and Bunnymen are really good. But The Cure is just such, there's such like no one sounds like The Cure. Like straight up.
So weird because I felt it was like the lyrics were of another song. Like it didn't sound like the other song. The lyrics were like another song. But
yeah,
the way that they said the lyrics, I'm like, oh, so I gave it a really good go trying to find out. I'm going to give it some more time.
You need to go back and listen to this song. Because first of all, and I think you really need to listen to the lyrics on this song too, because the lyrics are great. Robert Smith is such a great songwriter and lyricist. I was so happy, Rachel and I got to, because I've seen The Cure a few times. We got to see them on their 40th anniversary tour at Madison Square Garden, I think in, what was that, 2017, 2018. My wife and I went, and it was so good. And they played the song, and I like was nuts. So I specifically picked a Cure song for you. So I wasn't sure. So here's my question for you. Do you know The Cure? Like,
no.
Do you listen to The Cure? Do you know any Cure songs? Do you know Friday I'm in Love?
How does that go?
Friday I'm in Love?
Yeah, how does that go?
I don't care if Monday's blue. I can't even say.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Friday, I'm in love.
I don't know if I knew that it was Friday and I'm in love, but I know what song you're referring to. Maybe I'm going to have to read it
Pictures of You. I've been looking so long at these pictures of you. Like, those are huge, massive hits. Cure hits. Like, massive.
I'm gonna have to go listen to many Cure songs, and I'm gonna find why I feel like this song I've heard before, even though I know for a fact I haven't heard before. And I will say, I think once I re-listen to it a couple more times, it could be a solid 4. I'm gonna have to say it's a 3 for the time being, but I do think it could be 4, which would.
So there's gonna be there's an asterisk next to this, I think.
I think
is this a 3 records with an asterisk? Is this our first?
Yes. And can I put on our rating sheet, like where the asterisk is?
I think you have to put an asterisk.
Investigation is needed.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to, because you have this rating, but there's a lot of like, it's a 3, but I couldn't get by this. And
yes, there's a hesitancy to it because Amanda needs more homework time. And I've been looking for, I think your songs that you just explained to me might be moving me in the right direction though.
So I feel the need. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make you a playlist of the top 10 Cure songs, or at least my top 10 Cure songs. But I think but I think they're going to be songs you're going to be like, oh my God, I've heard this. And I think you've heard them without really realizing it, knowing.
Yep.
So, because I really think that The Cure is like so up your alley, and they're like one of my favorite bands of all. I just think they are just such an incredible band. And so I specifically picked this song because I didn't want to pick any of the hit songs, because I was like, well, maybe she knows the hit, so let me give her a song that isn't like the most mainstream Cure hit. So that's why I even selected this song. So I went a little deep. I mean, it was still on the radio. I mean, they played it, but it wasn't like their hit. It wasn't a hit here in America.
I mean, because I have 3 and then I have a 4. So like I'm really conflicted.
I see the conflict in you.
You see the conflict in me. So I feel like 3 with an asterisk is really important, and I will keep you all informed.
Like Darth Vader.
Homework. Yes.
I feel the conflict inside you, Amanda.
They remind me. Scott says they remind me of the RHCPs in that they just kill every song they put out, album after album, different but the same way brilliant. Fair enough.
True.
Fair enough.
They have definitely gone through time and reinvented them. It's just Robert Smith is just such an amazing songwriter. He's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna recap this for sure.
So
and maybe I'll even do an update come episode 8.
You may have to do the update.
Okay. I know y'all are on the edge of your seats with this information.
I think they are. I see. I mean, I see a lot of reactions. Hey, how's everybody doing out there? We're getting close to the end of the show, but hey, how's everybody been doing? I want some claps, some whatevers. There we go.
There we are. Thank you, Lily. I know you guys have been a very vocal group today, and this has been fantastic. I love it.
Yes. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. So, your last song pick for me, Jim Croce, Operator. And I
it was Croce, just to have fun with that.
What?
I thought it was Croce, Jim Croce. I didn't know it was Croce.
I love when you pick songs for me and like you even sometimes you have the artist name wrong, and I'm like, no, it's actually this of it. No, it's Jim Croce.
It's all about the feelings.
It's all about the feels. So, I mean, right away, Jim Croce is, to me, he's an American treasure. I mean, he truly is. I grew up on listening to Jim Croce. My father, huge Jim Croce fan. So Jim Croce was always on in our house, and just so I just grew up listening to it. I mean, all the hit songs, all the records, just listening to everything. And so there's something that's just truly, like I said, he really is an American gift. And I even say like his music is very Americana. Like I put him in that genre. Yeah. Like it's not really folk, but it's got a folk feel, but it's just, I don't know, it's just something different. I think it's him. It's the way he sings it. I think it's the storytelling. He even has like some attitude. Like he's different. Like I kind of put him in a different, like we were talking about James Taylor and Dan Fogelberg, like they're great. But for some reason, like for me, Jim Croce is kind of like if you were to draw a diagram, I may have to draw a diagram of this, but it's like there's these guys, and then Jim Croce is kind of like, and Jim Croce's here. Like, so sure. I definitely put him on a bit of a pedestal when it comes to that. But
fair.
I mean, geez, this song is so good. I mean, this is just, I feel like if you haven't heard Operator, you're seriously missing out on hearing like an extraordinary song. And he wrote so many amazing songs, but this song is just, I love the story and the back and forth and him just, basically talking to the operator. And so of course I did some more digging because I wanted to find out some of the backstory. And I went to our, very fun songfacts.com and found out. So one of the things was that I didn't know this, but he had joined the National Guard because he did not want to. He figured if he joined the National Guard, it would keep him from having to go, go over to Vietnam.
Sure.
So he joined the National Guard, and basically he tells the story of that. A lot of the guys like standing like waiting for their chance to use the payphone, all like calling back home and things like that was sort of the inspiration. And a lot of these guys were dealing with the Dear John letters too, like from their significant others. And so hearing like the stories and talking and then listening kind of overhearing different conversations as they're all kind of waiting to use the phone was a lot of his inspiration behind this song. So it tells that story of like, he's telling the operator that, he's kind of over it, but he's not really over it. Like his best friend and his girlfriend are kind of like off, and he's like, yeah, I'm over it, but I'm not really over it. And he just has this dialogue with the operator. And I always just found that such a cool, like, I don't know, it just felt very short story-esque, the song. Like you could kind of start to like make it, you could even be like a short film type of a thing. I always love the storytelling aspect of the song and the way it sounds, the way it's written. And it's just a great song. And just even with that dime, you have a dime, and at the end of the song, the last line is, you can keep the dime.
I love
and
that part.
I love that. And I actually, but Martin guitar, which is one of the best like made American guitars you could buy. They pure craftsmanship, handmade, like these beautiful, beautiful guitars. They actually did in 2000. They produced 73 guitars in honor of Jim Croce. And in each guitars was an uncirculated 1973 dime that was inserted in the third fret fingerboard in honor of the song in the final line, you could keep the dime. I thought that was so cool. Like what a cool,
what a
like
legacy.
I know, so awesome. And just a great song, man. And here's another thing too, is there's another thing I learned, that he was so like he had said at the time when he wrote this, he was working construction and he was dead broke, and he was asking his manager to just shop the songs around to other artists, hoping for any kind of payday. So he was like broke. I mean, completely broke when this stuff was out, and like and then he turned into obviously like huge, and then unfortunately, he another plane accident, taking someone like way before
absolutely,
way before their time. But at least we have what we have with him. But this is just a great. This song's amazing. It truly is. I really love this song. And just the growing up and Jim Croce always being on in my house, and just my father loving Jim Croce and hearing this. So it's such a big part of like my youth and forming like how I listen to music, and then my evolution into more and more music, but like always still coming back to like roots and just the basic like songwriting and the heartfelt storytelling. The whole package. So for me, Jim Croce Operator is 5 records.
This is so great. Yes.
No, it is. This is 1,000% a 5 record song. I mean, it's just for me, classic, iconic. It's up there.
Yes.
It's hard to hold others. It holds that special place, man. It's that flame, man. It keeps it going. It's great music, great song. So that is a 5 record pick for me.
I did not know about the guitars and the dime, because I thought that line was so powerful, and it's one of my favorite lines at the end.
Oh, it's so great.
It's such powerful. So
it's
for
such
you
a
to
period.
for you to like see that too, and then for obviously many other people had felt that as well, especially if the dime was in a guitar, because of how significant that was.
Right.
It just makes me even love the song even more, even though I already loved it. And it's just one of those songs that you love the story, and the story isn't a great story.
It's
not a happy story, rather.
No, it's not. But I think people can relate to it on some level.
Absolutely. But with the melody, it's like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Life will go on. You'll get over this too. Like it's, you'll be okay with things. I love that. And I just still love the aspect. And I know it's like, for a lot of like the younger generation, the whole like the operator, it's like it just isn't a thing anymore. But like just him having this conversation with just basically like the operator on the other side is just, I think just great.
It's so good. So maybe the dime is just, really code for you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I
love
think
it.
so. I think that's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Stars. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
That is a 5-record pick.
That was a perfect last song for today's episode.
Yes.
We didn't even plan it that way. It's just the
Nope.
way the list fell.
Nope, that's how it fell. That's how it fell. But I did like appreciate the Dan Fogelberg into the Jim Croce kind of feel. Like that was like a really good like back, 2 songs, very sentimental, very like meaningful, and have like deep stories behind it. But even Heaven is a Place on Earth, which I also, did not think was a very deep. But then when I found out like just that similar like finding the on a greeting card.
Yeah.
And then that inspiring like this, like I think that's so cool, man. So creativity can come from anywhere, and then create like this whole like that's a hit song. All these songs were hit songs, so it's really amazing. So I feel like you don't purposely pick these themes out, but I feel like there's always an underlying like theme to like the songs you send me.
I must be in certain moods like on a weekly basis.
So. I think so.
There's, Owen's school year is winding down.
Yeah.
Feeling a little sentimental about certain things. Yeah. So doesn't surprise me. I gotta know. Anyone want to come up to the stage and talk about our picks? You can like them, love them, hate them.
Agree, disagree,
Agree or disagree. No pressure, but we have the minutes if anyone wants to come up and chit chat with us and just recap the show.
Yeah, which we're always happy to do. Always happy to invite people up. But in the meantime, too, if some quick things going on here is, you hear us come on every week and we are talking about our Patreon account and things like that. But it truly is another place where Amanda and I are creating extra content so you can watch the video version of the show. But we've also recently gotten into producing some more bonus content over there. So just recently we released 2 music video reaction videos where Amanda reacted to watching Rat's Round and Round music video.
Nonsense.
And I reacted to watching the Eli Young band. Well, we both react, we're both on screen reacting, but we're both breaking down these music videos and having a good time doing it. And there'll be more of that kind of stuff. Plus, there's also access to influence the songs that we discuss. So we always pick an extra song for Patreon, and so everybody gets to vote, pick 3 out of the 4 songs. And so there were extra songs that we did have for this week, but these were the songs that were voted on. So this is what we're doing. So plus there's other cool perks like, merch. We released our new spanking new logo, which we're super excited about and got so much great feedback on from everybody. Thank you so much. So we got all kinds of new logo, merch, all that stuff. So lots of cool stuff. And of course the great karaoke experience.
Which no one has taken us up on. I am still
not
shocked
yet.
by that.
Not yet.
Because I secretly am all about it.
I know.
almost do it for free, but I don't want to because I want to help us fund our show. And, we're not getting rich from this stuff. We're just trying to help offset some of the lot of money that we've put in so far.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's all good. But yeah, it's just the little special things we just enjoy doing, and just some perks of being part of the Chris and Amanda world for sure.
Yeah. I feel like our listeners are just so shocked about what they heard today that they can't even comment.
Well, it's quite okay.
It's quite completely okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot to digest from this episode.
There was. We talked about a lot. We shared some really great stories. You learned about one of my go-to karaoke songs, so.
I'm really pumped about that. And I'm really excited to get some sort of closure on High by The Cure, because I know I'm going to dive into something at some point. Asterisk song. And I definitely think today's episode has a lot of real potential in it for reals. See what I did there?
Yes, some real potential for reals.
Expect some dimes coming at ya.
Expect some dimes, some big dimes.
I got 3 dimes right on top of my washer downstairs. So I just got to run downstairs to get them, and I'll be ready for a reel.
Dimes all day. Dimes all day. Well, really appreciate everybody hanging out with us. It's 1:00 already. I can't believe it. An hour just goes by so fast when we do this show, and so quick. We appreciate everybody for hanging out with us today. If you want to join our Patreon, go to our merch store, follow us on Instagram, all the things. You can click the show, click the link in the little fortune cookie going on there. That will take you to a land where all our links are in one spot. Or you can go over to the chrisandamandashow.com. It'll also bring you to the same place. And of course, you can access the Spotify playlist, which is updated weekly with all the songs that we discuss. So going all the way back to episode 1, you can hear all of the songs we have talked about on the show if you'd like to listen along to the songs we discussed and maybe check some things out that maybe you haven't heard before or maybe you haven't heard in a long time. So, it's kind of like being at a bar and someone loads a jukebox up with blocks of music. That's kind of the Spotify playlist experience that Amanda and I have unknowingly created for the show.
If you're curious about what episode those particular songs, I just go to our IG feed and every week we post them. So if you want to go back and look at some of our reactions to maybe some of the crazy songs that we've had each other listen to, that'll direct you to what episode to re-listen to. And be on the lookout for maybe a new website to drop before maybe next Monday's show.
We are working very hard behind the scenes to get a site up and running. So it'll be there soon. And we will keep you all up to date for sure.
We're close.
Yes, absolutely. And I just can't say thank you enough for everybody's support and feedback and everybody hanging out live and listening. Please also make sure that if you feel like anybody else who would love to hear this show, please feel free to share the link with them for the replay of this show and the other shows. I know we have it too if you go to chrisandamandashow.com or use the link here in the fortune cookie, the first button on there takes you to all the replays. So please feel free to share that out with anybody you think that would totally dig this kind of content. We'd love to have them on board.
Absolutely. The Chris and Amanda Show experience.
Yes. Chris and Amanda Show Mondays. From now on. That's what every Monday from now on is now the Chris and Amanda Show Monday.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to be heading over to Instagram to do a little quick, quote
little wrap-up show.
Little wrap-up show. So if you have time and you want to join us over there, feel free. We'd love for you to see us over there.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks, Randall. Everybody have an amazing rest of the week. And we'll see you next Monday here on the Chris and Amanda Show, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you on Instagram. Join us on Instagram right now as we go over